Hey everyone, a very, very warm welcome to all the fantastic women and the men who have joined us today in support of Women's Day. Thank you all for being here. With a whole lot of gratitude, I am extending this Women's Day call to everyone because I thought it's important for us to share those little stories, those inspiring moments where we rise above all the things that are happening in our lives and lift not only ourselves, but the women around us. And today I'm going to share a lot of the lessons I've learned, which honestly have changed my life. So these are things which I did not know till probably 2016. I didn't know any of this. I was honestly, I was doing fairly good in life. Everything looked okay, but it always felt like there was something missing. There was, you know, how sometimes you've got everything going for you, but you know, that joy is not there, or that sense of purpose or fulfillment, or something was missing. And that's the problem with a life where things are sort of good, that you can't really complain about anything, but you know that something is missing. And these are the lessons which I learned over the last 5 6 years in my journey, and they have been so powerful to helping me transform not only my lives, but for thousands of people across the world. These are the insights and wisdom I use, and I have been a good girl and made like a note of them to share with all of you so I don't forget. Okay. So yes, here's wishing you all a happy Women's Day. Honestly, I'm not somebody who's a fan of Women's Day, simply because I feel we don't need one day to celebrate us, because we do celebrate ourselves every day. But then again, a lot of times we get so bogged down in our work and, you know, serving people and giving our family members and caring for others. So it's kind of good to have a day where we say, wait a minute, I'm going to do something for myself. As I already said, I'm going to do this for myself tomorrow, because today I've just been delivering talks, and I went to an NGO and I made some other, you know, things online. So today's been a work day. Tomorrow I take my Women's Day off. Okay. So without much ado, let me ask you on the chat, first of all, what is the one thing you love about being a woman? And for the men, what is the one thing you love about women in your life? Put it in the chat box quickly. Like, one of the things I love is, you know, that I get to dress up and I get to, you know, like be all like wear these saris and these pretty clothes. I think that unfortunately the men can't do without, you know, getting unnecessary attention. Makeup, I like that. Vulnerability, yes. Epitome of creation, yes. The grace that we have in all situations, oh yes, you bet. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Love everything about being a woman. Yes. I remember I've said this before, especially when, you know, the cops catch you or you want to get away with murder. You're just like, uncle, please, sorry now, galti ho gayi. And then you make like a baby face and they're like, okay, fine, you know, go from here. So the men can't get away with that. Giving birth. Yes. Only women can give birth. Makeup, dressing, all the dramas that we get to do. You bet, Simran. Absolutely. So, yes, there is a lot that women can do, which men are catching up. In most ways, men are catching up. Serving a family and the strength, cooking for family. Yes. So, on this note, let me ask you another question. What do you hate about being a woman? She is one of the best creation on this planet. Yes, sir. That is right. Absolutely the best. What do you hate about being a woman? Periods. Yes. Yes. Not having enough fun. Okay, well said. We're all too serious about life, nahi? Ignoring self. Yes. To be understanding. Bitching. It's the women who bitch, right? Ouch. Compromises. Yes. Timing from family. Putting others first. Okay. So tell me, guys and girls and ladies and everybody who's on the call, when did you learn to start putting others first? When did you learn to service before self, put others first, compromise? How did we learn this? Yes, correct. We grew up seeing the women in our lives do this. We saw our parents, so our mums do it. We saw our grandmoms, our aunts, the massies, the fois, the kakis, chachis. We saw everyone around us doing this, and we kind of fell in saying, okay, this is how it is, I guess. And nobody's wrong, because we're all victims of victims of victims of victims, right? It's been coming across generations. But today I want to remind you something, that you have the power to change it for the future generations. You have the power to set an example where your child will look at you and say, hey, mom and dad are both sharing tasks. They are both treating each other as equals. Mom is probably eating before the rest of the family. Okay. Dad is chipping in just as much. And the future generations know that we are at par, right? And that is something which only we can teach our children by example, not by telling them anything. Because what you say to them, they won't understand. But what you do, they are going to learn, watch and learn. Like as we all learned, right? We learned this by watching. And here's the bad part. If there was one person who didn't do it, so if there's a woman who doesn't follow this rivaz, what happens? What do we do? What do we call her? What do we think of her? We judge the life out of her. We call her selfish. We call her bitch. We call her self-centered. Yeah, so many things. And you know why these women who don't comply, why they piss us off so much? Because they broke out of that trap, of that box that people have put you in and expect you to stay inside. They are doing what we are not giving ourselves the permission to do. So we judge them. Okay. So with that, let me formally begin my adventurous journey, sharing my learnings. Okay. Any point, if you have any questions, please, stop me, put your hand up, ask a question there. If it's opportune for me to answer at that point, I will. If it's something I want to answer later, I will tell you that. Okay. One of the first things I learned in my journey was recognizing that there was a voice in my head at all times. Okay. And this voice was a very familiar voice. It sounded sometimes like my mom, sometimes like my grandmom, sometimes like my teachers, all the people who had always corrected me, criticized me. That was the voice in my head all the time. So as an adult, what had happened is over a period of time, I had internalized that voice. And now that voice I thought was my voice. So every time I made a mistake and I reprimanded myself, I didn't realize that was actually not my voice. It belonged to someone else. It took me a very long time, very, very long time to start consciously changing little by little that critical voice that always was ready to beat me up mercilessly. It took me a very long time to change it to a more kind and nurturing voice to myself. And if you understand this one thing, if none of the other points you take away, but this one thing you take away, recognize that voice in your head that's always making you feel you're not good enough. That's always telling you, you screwed up. You should have thought better. You should have planned better. You should have known better. You should have read the situation better. You should have done more. Should. I call it like, stop shooting yourself in the head, right? Stop. And since I've stopped shooting myself in the head with the shoulds, my life has become much, much, much more happier. Okay. So let me ask you guys, do you recognize that voice in your head? The voice is the one that's always criticizing you and telling you, you should have done this. You should be fat. You should be thin. You should lose weight. You should eat right. You should sleep on time. You should. You didn't do good. You should have done that. You should have given them that much. You should have not given them that much. It's always correcting you. What if you could just change that voice today and say, hey, it's okay. Like today, honestly, in the afternoon, something really bad happened. Okay. And honestly, my whole day was quite pathetic after that, because the natural default was, oh, but you should have taken more care. You should have this, you should have. And I said, wait a minute. It's okay. I'm only human. It's an honest mistake. It doesn't matter. What can we do now to correct it? So yes, I started that, but within like a few moments, I got back. Yes, I could recognize that it was weighing me down a little every now and then, but I had to consciously keep becoming kind to myself. Okay. So that's the first point. I would request everyone to go on mute. There's something in the chat box. Let me Yes, but it's not always the noise inside, it's from outside too. Yes, it could be from outside, but primarily this voice that I'm talking about, because it's in your head 24/7. The outside voice comes sometimes, right? Maybe it's there for 5 minutes in a day, but the voice in your head, it's there 24/7, 365 into the number of years you live. Okay, so that's the one we really need to correct. Okay, the second one, make peace with your body. So many of us have so many judgments about our body. We cringe. Like, I remember I would cringe. I mean, even though this is exactly how I've looked for as long as I remember, but I would always feel, if I had little bigger eyes, if I was 2 inches taller, if I was little thinner, if my arms were not so flabby, if my thighs were not so fat, if my butt was not so big, if this, if this, if this, if this, if this. Like, I was always wishing to be like Madhuri Dixit, or like someone like could have just been a little better. And there was no end to it, because you can't change yourself physically, yes, unless I go through a plastic surgery and something like that, which none of us are going to do. So you can't change this body no matter what. Yes, you can be leaner, you can be fitter, you can do that, but you can't really change who you intrinsically are. You were physically created. Some people were created with a very lean structure. Some people were created with a different structure, different features. One of the biggest liberating things I did was to learn to accept it. Now, let me tell you, it was difficult. Why? Because again, it's a trap, right? We have an idea, a weird idea in our head, that if I was this way, it would be perfect. There is no perfect. Perfect is a lie. Perfect is a trap. And I had to stand in front of the mirror almost every day for 3 months and really look at myself and go like, ew. And then after a month, it was probably like, not so bad. And then after a month, it was like, actually not bad at all. And then by the end of 3 or 4 months, I was like, oh my God, you're actually pretty cool. And now I feel like every time I pass a mirror, I'm like, you're so beautiful. Okay. So if you won't love your body, you won't find anyone who does. Because even if they do, you'll not be able to receive those compliments. And if they do compliment you, you'll think they have an agenda. Like, why is he being nice to me? What does he want? Right? So that was lesson number 2. Lesson number 3. And I have written a whole bunch of lessons, but I'm only going to share, keeping time in mind, I'm only going to share 8 or 10. And then maybe some other time in some other call, I'll share more. Okay. The third one, and this is very, very, very important, is be willing to be the source of everything you're seeking from outside. Sometimes, again, the mistake that we make is we want love, we want appreciation, we want respect, we want gratitude, we want somebody to cut us some slack, we want people to be kind and gentle with us. Why not just give it to yourself if it's that important to you? If it's a matter of life and death and everyday joy, why not just give it to yourself? Right? And that is one thing, since I've started doing that, it's made my life much, much, much simpler. Why? Because now I can actually receive it. I can actually see that the people who love me are already giving me this. Before that, I would be complaining, nobody loves me, nobody respects me, nobody cares for me, nobody appreciates me, nobody. Because even if they were doing it, my receptors were shut. And now that I've started giving it to myself, I can see more people giving it to me, and I'm never deprived, because anytime I want it, I just fill my own cup. Yes? Awesome. Okay. This one is a life
Just
saver.
repeat.
What?
Just
Repeat it.
repeat.
Repeat it. Be willing to be the source of everything you desire, crave, want, need in your life.
Everything.
Everything you need in your life. Can someone type it in the chat box?
Hmm.
Be willing to be the source, right? So if my husband is the source, if my children, my clients, or someone else external to me is the source, then I have to be waiting to be the chosen one. Someday they will notice me, someday they will see me, someday they will appreciate me, then my cup will be full. Till then I'm just waiting with an empty cup. Ki, "Koi to kuch to de do, kuch to de do." But the minute I'm willing to fill my own cup, I don't need anyone. And then whatever I get is bonus. So I'll never be deprived or hungry or empty. I'll fill my own cup and I'll receive more. Okay? Fill your own cup. Yes. Cool. This next one is one of my personal favorites. Literally since the day I read it in a book, boom, my life changed. Okay. And I've said this a million times, and I would probably say it a million times more because it's such a fantastic tool. Don't take it personally. We women, and everybody does it, but we women kind of think everything is because of me, right? We take everything personally. If someone looks and calls you fat, she called me fat. If someone says bitch, she called me bitch. We take everything personally. We make everything so significant, so serious that then we spend the rest of our time in trying to prove them wrong or prove I'm a good girl, I'm not a bitch, I'm not fat, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this. Instead of that, like, understand this is not about me, it's about them. Be okay to be misunderstood. Be okay to let them get away with calling you names. Be okay with letting them be wrong about you. Don't go trying to correct anyone. Anyways, they won't agree or believe you. Better to say, it's okay. This is not about me. It's about them. Let them think this about me. You'll be free. Yeah. You can either be happy or you can be right. You can either be free or you can be trying to prove them wrong. Don't fall into that trap. Again, it's okay. Yes, I am. You want me to turn it up a little more? I can show you how much more Kumalika I can be. Okay. The next one is a little bit of a twister, and don't kill me for saying this. The last one was don't take it personally. This one is take everything personally. Okay. Now, the reason, and I contemplated this for a very long time, because when I read Don't Take It Personally and I started implementing it in my life became brilliant. Anyone said anything, did anything, I was like, it's not about me, it's about them. And truly it was. But then I learned Ho'oponopono and I realized everything is a reflection of you. If it is in you, only then it's outside you. So if somebody's being angry with you, it's about you. If somebody's doing this to you, it's about you. If somebody's judging you, it's about you. And then I got confused. I said, don't take it personally or take it personally. Don't take it personally or take it personally. And for a while, I was in this dilemma. I said, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. But while I contemplated enough and more, here's what I realized. What other people do to you, how they treat you, how they talk to you, how they behave, whether they call you names, whether they say something in anger, it's got nothing to do with you. So genuinely, don't take it personally. But what it brings up in your world, if it pinches you somewhere, if it pokes you anywhere, that take it personally because that's on you. If let's say if somebody had to come and slap me or insult me, them insulting me, don't take it personally. Maybe they're having a bad day. Maybe kahin to jhagda chal raha hai, kuch to hai. That's not none of my business. But if it made me feel worthless, if it made me feel like a fraud, if it made me feel like a, bitch or something else, that is my response. That take personally and look into it. Why am I feeling or thinking this way about myself? Got the difference? This is a deep one. And between these two, you'll know this one is not about me. What they are doing or saying, that's not about me. But if it's making me feel guilty or it's making me feel ashamed or it's making me feel this, that's on me. Okay. So don't take it personally. Take everything personally. A little bit of a twister. Okay. Next one. Do what's light and do it your way. Now, this one I've got since the last 2 years, but I would say I still struggle with it sometimes because, and I'll tell you why. As human beings, you can do anything that you put your mind to, right? I could have become a doctor. I could have become an architect. I could have become an engineer. I could have become a surgeon or a scientist or anything, right? If I would have put my mind to it, I would have been able to do anything. And that's true for each one of us. Each one of us, if we put in the efforts, do you agree with me? If you put in the efforts, you can achieve anything. But that's the trap. We don't want you to achieve everything. The universe wants you to be the you that is most effortless for you. Do that which is most effortless. That is the joy and the glory and the honoring of you. But what we try to do is, I want to do what the men can do. I want to do what she can do. She can cook well. Wait, I can cook better. She can dance well. I can do better. Like we're competing and trying to be everyone else. Stop. Just do that which is so effortless for you that, you'll never feel like you're doing work. Like this, okay, doing sessions or coming and talking impromptu or, doing sessions, whether it's children, whether it's, adults or old people or CEOs and MDs or whoever. When I do sessions, I could do it in my sleep and I'll probably do a better job than a lot of other people who are therapists, but maybe not, that's not really their calling. And if I tried to cook, I would probably suck at it. Or if I tried to dance or become a designer or clothes designer or interior designer, I'd probably suck at it. But yes, if I put in the effort, I could do a decent job, passable job. But why? Just choose that which is light for you, especially women. Especially women. Everybody expects us to be superwomen. You've seen that picture with the goddess with 10 hands, and she's in a corporate suit, and in one hand she's got a kadcha, and one hand she's got a pen, and one hand a sword, and one hand a laptop, and one hand. Why? Yes, we multitask. That's okay. But find that one thing which is so effortless for you, and please do more of that, whatever that may be. It could be as simple as keeping in touch with people. Doesn't matter. Do more of that which is effortless for you. You were created to be that. Imagine if we told the sun, right? Hey, it's great that you can shine so bright and you give us so much heat and light, but can you be like the moon? You should aspire, right? Like, get out of your comfort zone, be like the moon. Try to be calm and gentle and not very hot. That would be a dishonoring of the sun. And of course, it would create havoc in the universe, right? If the sun stopped what it was supposed to be doing and started doing something else. So please, please, please find that which is light for you in every situation and do it your way. Now, let me give you an example. Giving a talk like this is light for me, right? I can do it in an instant. But there was a point in my life where I went and attended a class where they taught us how to give a powerful talk. So they said, first you write your script word for word. Then you put in where are you going to take a pause? What hand expressions are you going to do? What face expressions are you going to do? Put that in your script, mug it up, practice it 1,000 times, and then go on stage and deliver it. And I said, yes, yes. If the most highly paid speaker in the world is doing this, I will also do it and I will also become like him. And that day was a nightmare for me because I can't plan my scripts. Okay, so I was trying and trying and trying to write a script for 2 hours. I was only staring with a pen and paper at my laptop and thinking, what do I write? What do I say? What will I say? I don't know any points. And I got into such a nervous breakdown. I started crying. I went to sleep for 2 hours. Then I finally got up and I realized, yeah, I should be prepared. But what is my definition? His definition of preparing, he told us, right? This is the way you prepare to give a powerful talk. But I said, wait, my definition of preparing is just getting ready. Just getting ready and showing up. फिर देखा जाएगा. कुछ तो बोल ही देंगे. किसी को कुछ तो मतलब उससे मिल ही जाएगा. Right? That is my style. I'm an impromptu speaker. This is easy for me. So even if you're choosing to do like cooking, everybody has a different technique of cooking. The same pav bhaji or the same aloo matar, chole, rajma chawal. You do you. Don't worry what the world is doing. Okay. And okay. And the last one, let me give you. If you have to only do something which is not light for you, okay? So a lot of us as women, we have to do a lot of things. We all have a lot of responsibilities, right? Ghar sambhalna hai, kitchen sambhalna hai, bacche sambhalna hai, kaam sambhalna hai, relatives sambhalna hai, socials, ye, wo, everything. And you might not have a choice in everything. Sometimes you have to do things, okay? Even in those things, ask the question, how can I add an element of fun here? How can I make this fun for me, right? So I'm not somebody who enjoys cooking too much, but I cook every day and I choose to cook it. There was a time in my life where I hated cooking. I was very, very resentful that, oh my God, I have to cook and I hate it, but I have no choice. And then I actually sat and gave myself a choice. And thanks to my husband who said, you don't like cooking, just drop it. We'll get a cook. And I said, oh, okay, this is good. I do have a choice here. So I said, cool, Janki, now that I really have a choice, let's figure out, do I really want to cook or not? And I weighed the pros and cons. And that day I decided, yes, I would like to continue to cook now by choice. Not because somebody expects me to or somebody told me to, but because I am choosing to. Okay, so I chose. And from that day, I've stopped complaining about cooking. So for 10 years, I complained. Why do I have to do this every day? Why do I have to do this every day? But since that day where I had the discussion in my head, I gave myself a genuine choice. From that day, I don't complain anymore. Yes, there are days where I still don't want to cook and I'll not complain. I'll just tell my family, hey, we're ordering from outside or let's go out. So you always have a choice. Okay. Now, after I decided, I don't like cooking, but I'm choosing to cook for my family. Then I said, how can I add fun to this? Okay. So while I'm making rotis, I put on my favorite podcast or listen to books on Audible or listen to my favorite music if I'm in the mood for that. And I feel really happy. So then when I cook, I'm also kind of enjoying it. So I'm not cooking with like boredom or resentment or guilt or whatever. I'm cooking from happy place, right? So that, dear ladies, is enough from me. Now I want to open the house for questions, and I would love to hear from y'all. What are those things you struggle with, or what are the things you want to say or celebrate or share or ask for solutions from the entire bunch of women here? What is it that you want to say? Now the floor is open for all questions. So you can unmute yourself, you can raise your hands. I will ask one person to unmute, and we shall have a chat. Go ahead, give it a thought. I gave you all a lot to think about now. Like I can see all of you are like,
The effortlessly thing that we can do. I think that's the best choice for us. That I have
Yes.
realized.
Yes, yes. And there is always something that you can do effortlessly. And I'll tell you what the trap is. Unfortunately, because it is, unfortunately, because it is so effortless, we dismiss it. We dismiss it. Ki, this to everyone can do. There is no big deal, right? We dismiss it. We don't value ourselves, and we don't realize that that which is effortless for me will not be effortless for others. We think if I can do this, everybody can do this, right? So yes, effortless is the only way. I always say this: if it's not effortless, it's challenges. I don't have a problem with, but I always say, no matter what you undertake, no matter what activity, agenda, goal, action you undertake, check the underlying root. And this one I want you to write somewhere. Check the underlying root of your action. So if you're taking up a challenge because, hey, this is fun to solve, let's do this, right? Great. But secretly, a lot of us have this programming. If I undertake this challenge, when I solve this challenge, then I will be considered intelligent, worthy. People will respect me. People will look up to me. I will, have some standing in society. Then I'll be worthy. That we don't need. So you want to undertake a challenge? Great. Please go ahead. Have fun. Have too much fun doing it. But if you feel that if only, like a lot of women, and I've been doing a lot of sessions, and yesterday, in fact, there was a brilliant woman with me. She's a fashion designer, great lady. And she's like, but if I'm not doing anything, I'm not worthy. If I'm not contributing, I'm not worthy. And then I had to spend, the session changing that programming in her, right? So, yes. And of course, please, if there are any men in the house who want to speak up, you're more than welcome. We shall not be discriminating on this call. Okay. Shreya, yes, go for it.
Yeah, like since childhood, I've seen my mom, listening to everybody and doing what others want her to do. So that is, I think, programmed in me also. So there's a lack of clarity. Like, I will always think of the other person before what I want. So how do I, like, now stop that and like really ask myself? Because it becomes difficult for me to really get the answer that, what I really want. I'll always think of the other person. So, any suggestions for that?
Is your question that I'm always putting other people first, and how do I put myself first?
Like, suppose even if I want to eat something, okay, I will be like, is this expensive? Will the other person eat that? All these like confusing thoughts rather than getting a clear picture. No, this, I want to eat this. Or, this programming is coming in what I really want to do also. Like it's blocking me. So how do I break the block?
I think somewhere a lot of women go through this. And what would really be nice is where you just take a deep breath and say, hey, you know what, Shreya, I am giving you the permission to go ahead and do this. I am giving you the permission to order your favorite food today instead of asking the rest of the family. I am giving you permission to choose the movie you want to watch or the place you want to visit. Or somewhere we do give everybody else a choice and we think, मैं तो कुछ भी खा लूंगी, मेरा क्या है, right? But somewhere consciously, even letting the family realize so that the next time, even they'll remember to ask you, hey, everybody's had their turn over the last few weeks. Today's your turn. What do you want to do? Right? We're all equals. So it's not about taking more from anyone, but it's also about giving yourself what you deserve. And sometimes it doesn't need anything but, okay, fine. I deserve this. I give myself the permission to do this. Sometimes, honestly, it's not about the other people. They are giving you all the love, attention, permission, appreciation, everything. But it's us who stops ourselves, not really our family members.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yes. Who else would like to say, ask, share? Yes, Ami, of course.
Hi. So
when you were talking about the point of, not taking things personally and taking some stuff personally, I just wanted more clarity on it, in the sense of what I got from it is like, when you're getting some feedback from other people, and most of the times it's not true for you, because and which is why you can say that, hey, this is their problem, and so it doesn't resonate with you. But the things that do resonate with you, where there is a pinch of truth, is the ones that you end up taking personally, right? And then you can work on it to see whether it's conditioning or whether it's really true for you or not, and figure that out. Am I sort of, did I
Yes,
get this
yes,
one right?
yes. More or less. So yeah, and you're right. Most of it is right. What I said is that, let's say if somebody had to do something, say something to you, okay, that was not nice, or even if it was nice, recognize they are coming from whatever is going on in their world. This
Right.
is not about me, right? And then if it brought up something in you, despite knowing this is not about me, if it still brought up something in you, then that's what you need to go inside and look. You need
Right.
to like contemplate and go like, okay, like this guy was talking about that lady, but why was I feeling so anxious or guilty or something, right? What is it in me? That
Right.
go in and introspect and see what's coming up, and then you can, see it, clear those energies, and then you're free. See, I always say this time and again, the truth shall set you free.
So, like, an example that is popping in my head for this, for example, is that when somebody calls some other woman like she's really hot or she's really beautiful or whatever, and that pinches you sort of are like sort of judging your own body or your own looks, and sort of denying yourself your beauty and things like that, and making yourself smaller. Is that like, and it
Yes.
may not really be true, and
So
so then you
there are
address
two
the
things
fact.
that could, yes. So there are two things that could happen. Like just giving an example, a guy sitting next to me says, "Oh my God, that woman is hot," right? One is I could have thought, "Oh my God, look at him. He's, ogling at women, not a nice man." Or I could have thought, "Shit, she's hot means I'm not hot,"
Mm,
right? Or I hate her for being so hot. Whatever.
yeah.
He said what he said because whatever is going on in his world.
Right.
But my response is different based on what's going on inside my mind, my world.
Got it.
That is on me.
Right.
What
Got it.
he said is not about me or on me, or it's got nothing to do with me. But what it brought up in me, that's for me.
Right. Got it.
That's for me to introspect about.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Anyone else who would like to?
Yes, Janki.
Yes.
Yeah. So, like, if we feel that my happiness is from maybe your, like, my husband, and then if we don't get, so then, like, we are always there with ourselves. But does that mean that it's a compromise that we are doing it?
I'm sorry. Can you explain that again?
We suppose if I feel my happiness is from my husband, like I want to be appreciated and all those things. So we definitely are there for ourselves. We do it. I just do. I'm my favorite. My apni favorite to say it with me as well. But still, then if that is our need, self, that. So and we don't get that, and we shift on to this thought that we need to be there with ourselves for ourselves. Is that a compromise that I'm making?
Is it
That I'm not getting. So this is the thought.
You tell me. Does it feel like a compromise to you? Then it's a compromise.
Okay.
So here, and everybody's different, right? Not everybody. Just because I said, when I give myself a compliment, I'm done. Like my cup is full. But maybe for you, you feel like, yeah, I gave myself the compliment, but I really want it from him also, right? Maybe that's your truth, and that's fine. Maybe all you need to do is have a conversation with him and say, hey, you know what? I really love receiving compliments from you, and explain to him this is what I want. And sometimes men's world doesn't function the same way as us. So something that's very, very obvious for us. Like if I get ready and if I don't get a compliment, I'm like, but it hasn't even registered. But if you've told them, okay, they know, okay, she's expecting this, or, this is what is a requirement, mandatory, must have in her world. Okay. I'm happy to do it. It hardly takes me 2 seconds, right? So sometimes we just need to tell the men in our lives because, hey, they don't always get it. They function very differently. The things that are obvious and significant for us are not for them. The things that are important for them are not for us, like sports, right? Or something, the stock market or something. I'm just like, yeah, but we all have our thing. And sometimes a little communication goes a long way in establishing a routine or a boundary that's important for you. Yeah. Awesome. Yes. More questions. Please don't put them in the chat box. If you can just come here and ask me, it'll be easier. So please raise your hand and I'll pin you to the chat. Viraj, did you have a question?
No, thank you. Amazing session.
Okay. Yes, anyone else? Lakshmi, did you have a question? I saw something in the chat box. How do we stop judging others and ourselves too? So many questions here. Guys, you have to come and ask me. I'm not answering any of these questions. You have to come and chat with me. That's the point of the Women's Day chat. Come on, be brave. Raise your hand. Come on the chat. Deepika, would you like to say something? Or Lakshmi, okay.
Can you hear me?
Where is Lakshmi gone now suddenly? Wait, Lakshmi, I'm adding you to the... Yes, Lakshmi is here.
I just want to know, can you give more example of filling your own cup?
Filling your own cup. Yes. So think about all the things that you require to nurture yourself, to be happy, to be healthy in your day-to-day life, right? We obviously need food, we need money, we need love, appreciation, a sense of belonging, various things, right? Conversation, company. We need so many things. Now, when we say fill your own cup, it means be willing to first give yourself all these things. The mistake we make is that we'll expect, like I would expect it from my husband, like, I've got ready and nobody's given me a compliment till now, and I'll be waiting, and then I'll be sad and angry and upset that, hey, you didn't give me a compliment. And then he'll be like, yeah, but so what does it matter? But I'll just be like, wait a minute, if I want to say I look good, I'm just going to look in the mirror and first give it to myself. By the way, here's an insight. How you treat yourself is how others treat you. How others treat you is a reflection of how you treat you. So if nobody's ever giving you compliments, are you ever giving yourself compliments? Are you appreciating all the things you are doing? You're probably not. If you're not respecting yourself, other people are not respecting you. If other people are not respecting you, you don't respect yourself inside. That's why I say fill your own cup first, because when you start doing it, the world is just a reflection of you. They'll start doing it too. Make sense?
Thank you so much. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Awesome, Lakshmi. Yes, 2 people have raised hands. I'm proud of you. Viraj, go for it.
Will you do a Men's Day special?
Now that you have asked, yes, I shall. Please remind me when Men's Day comes and we shall plan a call in advance.
I don't know if there is a Men's Day.
There is a Men's Day.
Oh, there is. Okay.
17th of June or something like that.
Cool.
Yeah, we shall do it. Ask and
Thank
you
you.
shall.
I asked.
And you
I'm
shall.
waiting to receive.
Awesome. Yes, Shreya.
Yeah, I had only asked, like, how do we stop judging others and ourselves? I mean, I feel I am judging myself. That's why I'm judging others too.
Okay. So how do you stop judging other women? The way I do it is whenever I catch myself judging another woman, I ask myself the question, is this secretly what you also want to do, Janki? Okay. Now I'll tell you why. I remember I had gone for a corporate offsite, right? So it's a company event. It's a professional event, right? So yes, it's an offsite in Goa and all, but it's still a formal environment. You're with colleagues. You're not with your chuddy buddies or your best friends or your besties, right? And there was this one girl. She was dressed in the shortest and hottest micro mini red dress. Okay, the hottest dress I had ever seen. And she had all her curves in place, very nice low cleavage. She was like sizzling hot. Now I walked into that place, and while I was going to the hall where I was supposed to give a talk, I saw her standing at the stairs. And my first reaction was, like, what the hell is she wearing? Like, is she crazy? Doesn't she know this is a corporate event? And what is wrong with her? And blah, blah, blah. And then instantly I caught myself. I said, wait a minute. Right? You would love to do this, wouldn't you? If you weren't afraid of being called what not names, if you had the guts, if you could pull that off, I bet you would love to do this. And I was like, actually, yeah, I would. And then the very next moment, I took a U-turn, I came back and I told that girl. And then when I came back is when I noticed, pehen to liya tha usne, but she was really nervous. Like, she was conscious that everyone was looking at her and everyone was judging her. And I went to her and I said, oh my God, you look freaking sizzling hot. Okay. Don't let anyone judging you stop you from flaunting everything you've showed up as. Have the guts to see this day through, because you are inspiring every woman in this room to step up and choose this for themselves if they want it really. And her face lit up. Okay. So from feeling like all judged, like, oh my God, everyone's judging me, like, oh shit, I shouldn't have worn this, I shouldn't have worn this. She went like, like she straightened up, she chinned up, and then she was like, thank you. I so needed to hear that, right? And both of our worlds changed in that moment, right? I judged her. I definitely judged her. But then I realized every time I'm judging a woman, so if I'm judging a woman who's being a bitch, I'm like, yeah, I would love to tell that guy off. And then I'm like, yeah, but I'm just too nice now. Meri image kharab ho jayegi, so I'm not doing it. If I'm judging somebody for being lazy, I'm like, yeah, even I want to rest, but I can't allow myself to rest. Whatever you judge another person, forget women, whatever you judge another person for is what you also secretly want to do, period. Once you understand this, the next time you judge, you'll be like, is this something that I also want to do? Should I give myself the permission to do it? Will it be fun? Explore, right? So that is how you stop judging others. And if you catch yourself judging you, just say, hey, who the hell taught me that this was wrong to do? Or this was inappropriate, this was selfish, this was whatever we've been trained to think, right? That's why we judge ourselves. Good girl, good boy, bad boy, right? Go for it. Ask yourself questions, sit with it, explore that discomfort. Like, yeah, I cringe at the thought of wearing that dress, but like, yeah, like my mom has always corrected me, like, are you going to wear pants under that? Like, if I wore a short dress, I remember her saying, are you going to wear pants? And I'm like, so yeah. So yes, thank you, Shreya, for asking that amazing question.
I love the way how you converse with yourself also, like a school.
I talk to myself 24/7. I'm like, I think I should do a PhD. In fact, last time it was so funny. I was up till 2 in the morning. I was making notes. I had like a few thoughts and I was really excited. So I was writing. And then I was like, you know what? I should do a PhD in like self introspection or contemplation or something. So it was really funny. Yes, but I know. I acknowledge that about me.
Yeah, thank you. So secretly, if you want to do that, you can work on it. If it's like get inspired.
Then the person you're judging will move from being an irritation to an inspiration. If she can do it, I can do it. If she can choose it, I can choose it. So now, dude, you're my inspiration. Come here. Tell me how you did it. Just take me through the steps of how you first bought that dress, then how you had the courage to put it on, then how you had the courage to walk out of your room. Just help me now. And I'm telling you, those women will be more than happy to help.
Actually, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Who else would like to ask, talk, share? If it feels easy, end of the poem you sent me. Surrender. Okay. Sure, I could. Yeah, it's time to end already. Thank you for reminding me. I lose track of time when I start talking. But hey, before we end, I would love for us all to put our cameras on and take a picture.
Hey, hello.
Yes.
I
Hi,
heard.
Mona. How are you? Is this the
I'm
first
great.
time I'm seeing you here?
Yes, that's what I was going to tell, that I listened to you for the first time. In fact, I had seen you for the first time and you are amazing. So,
Thank you so much. Yes, tell me. So where are you from? How did you come onto this little group of ours?
I'm from Ahmedabad, and Anil gave me your number when you were doing that 7 day thing. But I think I couldn't do it. I joined say third or fourth day. So by the time I was not able to understand the full thing, and I didn't do it then.
Got it. But I'm glad you could join today. And
Yeah.
you're very, very welcome to this little group of ours.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Did you have a question?
Will we get recording of this call?
Yes, you'll be getting a recording.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So can I request everyone to put on your cameras? I would love to take a picture of all these gorgeous women who are out here. And the men, you're most welcome to be part of this fun bunch. Where's everyone? Oh, there you are. Hello, Dr. Tej. Simran, Neeti, Rajashri, are all going to put on your cameras. Okay. Thank you. I've taken a photo. Now, I'm going to end with that poem. So, okay, this is a little poem. I write a lot of poems, by the way. Most of them stay in my inbox. Once in a while, I do share them. Some of you most likely have read this, but I'll just read it for whatever it's worth. Okay, so this poem is called Surrender. Okay, and these are things that I learned along the way, and then I just kind of hear it from here and there and I put it together. Okay, so it's not like these are my original thoughts, but these are the things I've learned along the way. Okay, so fall with the fall, flow with the flow. Don't resist the river of life, no matter where you go. If you find yourself swimming uphill, the struggle is too much, your joy is getting killed. Surrender and let life guide you. Accept with an open heart. Feel everything in full glory. Just watch yourself. It's a great start. There's nothing to achieve and nowhere to go, except look within to discover the truth you already know. Surrender. Okay. This is something that I feel truly we all know our truth. We know our power. We know our potential, our capabilities, our weaknesses, our strengths. We know everything about us. And yet we get sucked into what we're taught. So this is from going away from the learned, conditioned reality into your own reality. And if we can all do that, we shall be free because the truth sets you free. Okay. So with that, thank you all. Thank you, Viraj, for the lovely idea. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Like so much love to all of you for being here, for celebrating me and Women's Day and you and this lovely group that we have. I think this group is honestly beyond men and women. I remember I was so touched and so happy and proud that in my first self-love workshop of 3 months, there were 3 men who signed up. Okay. And they were equally passionate about self-love, which I always thought was like a women's thing, right? And they 3 were the most committed. They were the most committed. They did all the homework. They were, doing way better than the women there. And I was really, inspired. So yes, thank you everyone. God bless you. Keep smiling. Keep choosing fun and whatever's light for you and have too much fun in life. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Bye.
ladies.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thanks.